Origins wrap-up coming right up. Mr. Clicks Flicks is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if you're in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has a winning role for all your gaming needs. You can visit them at luckydicecafé.com or on their Facebook page using the link from the description of this video. Mr. Clicks Flicks is also sponsored by TrollandToad.com, one of the largest online gaming retailers. Please use the promo code Mr. Clicks Flicks for 5% off your Heroclix order today. So now that we got the bills paid, we have a special guest with us today, Mr. Edward Shelton from the Starting Over podcast, one of the best places to listen to Heroclix podcasting if you're interested in competitive play. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the couple people that might not know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Starting Over podcast. I'm pretty much the OG of Heroclix competitive commentary. I've probably done way too much in this game, and in terms of video and content, I've probably just done way too much. I'm also the one that's holding hostage the finals game of Nats. While I am doing that in post production, so I will release it if I get $1 million.
There you go. Great. Yeah, I was actually about to bring that up. I was like, check him out because he's going to have that. Because I
did post top 8 Matty G versus Pat Frazier.
Yes, I saw that.
I posted that today.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. I did the top 4 match that was PJ and Patrick was who I did. And then I saw you had the other one. So I was like, he's got this covered. So
yeah. So shout outs to Wes Summers who did the recording on that.
Yes.
Giving credit to where credit's due.
Yep. Very cool there. So we got you guys covered. I saw a lot of people were like, oh, they should have streamed. I was like, whoa, guys. We got you covered. We had people on the ground.
Quick note on that. That's not WizKid's fault.
Correct.
The people that they hired dropped out.
Right.
At the last minute. So that's not WizKid's fault, if anybody asks on that.
Right, yeah, because I remember they were saying all weekend they should have somebody, and then just nobody showed up, so I felt a little bad. But we had it between us, so we're good.
WizKids, you already know.
Yep.
Hey, I'll take this jersey off and wear a suit and tie and podcast and live stream for 3 days straight up. If you give me like a full set of con exclusives, factory set, and maybe doubles on the swag stuff. Like if you do that, I will do that. I will straight up do your whole. You pay my con badge. You do all that, we're good to go.
Nice.
I will be there. Like, hello, my name is Edward Shelton. I am here with my co-host, Mr. James Peters. How you doing today, sir? It's like I'm also here with my other co-host, Mr. Aaron Cantu. We're here to cast the U.S. Nationals Invitational. You know,
very cool. I like it. I'll make sure to bring the lemon water for you so that you can keep those golden pipes going the whole time.
Oh yeah, I could get Married with Clicks in there. Oh yeah, it'll be a professional thing. We all swagged out.
Yep.
This is what we need to do.
I keep waiting on them to do that. They haven't done that. And then this is something we didn't even talk about talking during the show, but they do need to figure that out.
Yeah.
All right. So we did the intro. So what day did you get there? I got there Wednesday, when there's typically not too much going on. There's just like a couple, maybe 2 or 3 battle royales, and that's it. And then you go to bed and you come back Thursday. And what day did you get there?
I got there Thursday.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day. I immediately went to the front of the line, bought all my con exclusives for myself and my locals. Like I've learned from the Star Trek away team little Star Trek toy that they had years ago at Gen Con.
Yep.
Not to play around. Just go buy your stuff and be done. And I feel sorry for whoever waited until Saturday to get their stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I picked all the stuff I needed up on Wednesday. And man, people were looking hot under the collar on Saturday and Sunday when it was like, no, all we got Stoop. Oh wait, no, we're all out of everything.
Yeah, we're out of everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So Team Nationals, I think you guys had 2 teams, right? You had regular Phoenix Nest and Phoenix Nest Gray. 3. Oh my goodness. 3 teams. And then I was there with 1 team. Critical Misdirection. We had Calder Nest from Dial H for Heroclix and another guy named Mike Houghton, who was a semi-local guy. I play at his venue a lot when they have WizKids Opens and stuff like that. So we did pretty good. It looked like you guys did pretty good too. So what'd you think of Team Nationals this year?
I think Team Nationals was great. It's the largest event that they've had.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had over 60 teams is the largest amount of teams that they've had. I wrote an article for 2 Clicks from KO, and I said it was great to see all the shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pro high fashion, as you can
Yep.
see right now.
Yep.
I'm pro team shirts because it's the equivalent of flying your flag and saying this is us and this is what we're about. And there's a lot of teams that some of them that don't have a shirt that are really good SEALs teams,
Mm-hmm.
like Failboat, Tequila Mockingbird, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Those are teams that are really solid in teams pool. So I'm always grateful to see them coming back another year. So I think overall teams this year was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad no one pulled a Chase Thanos.
Yeah. Oh, that's something we can talk about that too. So, what was I even going to say? I don't even know now. But I got hung up on the Chase Thanos. I was trying to figure out how many boosters they opened up over the week. It was over 4,000 boosters between the Battle Royales and Team Nationals and stuff like that. And to my count, only 3 Ultra Chases were pulled. So do you think he's more rare than we thought? Or because that seems like a lot of boosters to only get 3.
I know that there were at least 2 pulled Wednesday, and I know there were 5 pulled in Battle Royales on Thursday.
Oh, really? Oh, well, there
Yes.
you go. So I obviously am not paying attention.
So we're looking. I think when we did like our speculative average math,
Yeah.
Chase Thanos is like 1 per. I think it's somewhere between 8 to 10 cases.
Yeah, that's still pretty good though. And it looked like he did okay in constructed, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, so the numbers. That's what I was getting at for Team Nationals. It looked like they WizKids said there was 208 players and 64, I believe, teams in total. That was their largest one ever, they said. So it was really cool. This was personally my first Team Nationals. Both of my teammates had done it at least 1 year before that. But it was a lot of fun. I'd definitely do it again. Having the 6 boosters to draw from definitely eliminates that, like, oh, well, I got 2 crappy boosters. What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
Aspect of it. So it was definitely really cool. I liked it a lot. I thought it ran fairly smoothly, even with the hiccup at the beginning about like having to fill out the little notepad or the little slip of paper, and then obviously we weren't smart enough for that, so then we had to change to just telling them what happened.
Right. That was probably, I felt, was the most efficient change.
Yeah.
Which really did allow us to get done on time.
Yep.
Because handing in that slip of paper has really been one of the biggest banes where folks hadn't filled it out right, and they can't read it, and all these other 80 different things that happen.
Yep.
So they fill it out, they can read it, it's verified by both parties, there's no confusion if you're going to drop or you're going to stay or not, you're good to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It seemed to work a lot faster. It seemed like it was like nearly a half an hour between rounds for like the first 2, and then once they quit that, it went pretty smooth, I felt, between rounds, or as fast as you could expect an event of that size going.
It paid off on Saturday more so than anything else, I'll say that.
Right, yeah. So what did you think, because the set we used for Team Nationals was Avengers, Black Panther, and the Illuminati. What'd you think of this set for like sealed? I thought personally it's a really good set. There was a bunch of really good figures in the lower rarities, like rare and lower. You had, Thor, Spider-Man, and a few figures like that. It wasn't really if you pull a chase, you're going to win at all.
Right. Well, except that happened.
Yeah, except that did happen. But I'll admit.
No shade. That did happen. Double chase.
2 out of the 3 times I got beat, it was by a Chase Red Skull. But anyway, it seemed like you had at least a chance, which I thought was pretty good. So how did you feel about this, using it for sealed?
I thought it was fine. I think there were some things we were concerned, which was Chase Thanos. I felt that Red Skull was probably okay. I underestimated Red Skull, but the fact that if you pull two Medusas, a Crystal, and a Voyager, that's a 200-point Avengers team Hope you pull some aim guys, and then you go.
Right.
Like, that's just as threatening.
Yeah.
As anything else. So I'll be honest when I say I think there is a point in which WizKids did a little bit better job with this set, or just lucked out that this set had a lot of good base characters for people to build around. And as long as WizKids continues to have what I call those 1.5 characters, they're in that common slot. They're not quite uncommon, but they're better, or they're around the strength of an uncommon. They're a little bit beefed up, so that you have an incentive to play them, or they're very specialized and they do what they do really well. I think if WizKids continues on that route, I think the game, when it comes to sealed and team sealed, will be in a really good position.
Yeah, this was definitely one of the better sets I've seen for sealed. Like, we had in my group, like for the 3 different teams, the main attackers, the one guy had Taskmaster, then I had the rare Spider-Man, and another guy was using the Captain America with the time gem. Out of our boosters. So it was pretty spread out. There was plenty of support to go around between the AIM agents and the Wakanda and the SHIELD diplomats and stuff like that. It was never like you were just totally didn't have some part of your team there. And everything was available, and it seemed like other players too, like if they didn't pull something good, they at least had like uncommon Thor or something like that to fall back on. And Hulk, yeah.
Hulk. Yep. Yeah, like Hulk wins games.
Yep. Yeah, so definitely one of the better sealed things. And then is that going to be the new set for Worlds too? So when they do sealed Team Worlds, is that going to be the set for that too?
I don't know,
because I don't think Avengers or not Avengers, X-Men Dark.
Yeah, Regenesis isn't a full set.
Right, and the other one, the animated series, doesn't come out till September, I think.
Now, they have been known to, like, dump surprises on us.
Yeah, so it could be that. I don't know, though. I really like Black Panther a lot, so I don't know how I feel about the X-Men set. I mean, other than the fact that you just get it a little early. But
well, I would say this before we move on to the next topic. If they stay with Black Panther, it will functionally lower the cost of the Black Panther figures on the market.
Right.
If they decide to do something awesome, like whatever the next set is, I think that more people would be happy about it. But just be mindful if you're trying to buy on the secondary market during that time, like whatever you see is going to be inflated prices, like you saw with the Regenesis figures. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. So do you think that they're ever going to have a constructed Team Nationals, or do you think that's just a bad idea overall?
I think the Rock is doing that.
Oh, the Rock? Okay.
Rock is doing that. So we're going to find out about, is that a good idea, bad idea? I think once it comes to Team Constructed Seal, it's been a couple of years. Actually, excuse me, it's probably been about like 4 years. Almost 5 since the last time we've had a team constructed. I think the issue is that if we go into team constructed, are we going Extreme Highlander, where we're restricting figures to like 1 per team per total force per team thing. Like if I have aim red, you can't have aim red.
Right.
But at the same time, am I limited to like 1 aim red? So there's certain tactics, like I couldn't probably do the 3 Medusa Voyager build. I couldn't do that, but I could do like Medusa Crystal and maybe something else. And still do an Avengers team. So like that may be on the table, depending on how they do it. I think it would be a really interesting thing. From a team building perspective, I think one of the major elements that I feel that would actually test the game state is to see if multiple teams not running the same mechanics can grind through an event. Because it's easy for someone to say, like, oh, look, you won because you had a Kobik, or because you had a Vulture, or because you had a Hawkeye, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, well, one team had a Kobik, one team had a Vulture, one team had a Hawkeye.
Right. And
we ran 3 different teams with those game mechanics, and we went against everybody else's teams. And we ended up on top, and our record was blank. So I think it will be interesting. We'll see how The Rock does it.
Yeah. I definitely like that idea about the Extreme Highlander. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a cool concept. So what do we have here? Regular singles nationals. I did it. I went 1-3. It was just a bad day for me. I was still not to make excuses, but I'm gonna make an excuse. I was kind of burnt out from team nationals the day before, so I got to work on being maybe a little bit more mentally disciplined. But overall, I thought that event was run pretty well. I thought the Kobik trader business was kind of interesting and fun to see. And what else? I don't know. I thought Patrick's team was fun because it was just kind of like, hey, what's the best stuff? Let's put that on a team. And then he ran it extremely well. So
right.
So what is your take on what happened for regular nationals?
It's a mixed bag for myself personally because I went 3-2.
Yeah.
And my game against Tim Bowl, a series of mistakes in my fourth game. It was just like, oh yeah, I've just made these from assumption to bad decision to not paying attention, bad decision. It's like, yep, I lost. Yeah. It was a tough game, but it's like, okay, this is a game that went from 55-45 in my favor because I won map to 50-50 to immediately like 60-40 in his favor.
Yeah.
Because of one bad play mistake. And then I got Chase Thanos, and then it was just like, yeah, that sucks. I feel like Chase Thanos is a figure that is on the edge of let's not make more of these.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be doing an interview with Brad Milburn. Like actually, I think after I'm done talking with you, and it'll probably be up like next week. But he played Ultra Chase Thanos, and I have a series of questions to ask him. And I don't have a problem with anybody playing Chase Thanos. But I do think that Chase Thanos presents us with a problem. Ultra Chase Thanos it presents us with a problem. When WizKid says these figures aren't meta, and we clearly can see this is competitive. Right. This is designed specifically to kill Unimind. Should you have a figure like that designed at such an exclusive rarity? And I would say no, you shouldn't. I think like if you're going to do that, the mechanics that are designed to take on other established, tactics need to be really at the rare rarity to start, or at least be at the rare rarity.
Yeah.
If you're going to have anti-ID card, anti-object, call in, or let me not call in replacement characters, or whatever anti-game mechanic you're going to have, you can't put silver bullets in such high rarities because their overall strength is so exponential, it's stupid. I don't blame Chase Thanos, so the reason why I didn't break, not being able to roll high was another. But with me running Black Adam, and with one bad place or with one placement, it's like you don't have quintessence anymore. Now I'm going to take away your super senses. Now I'm going to take away your invincible. And now I'm going to hit you. You can't do anything about this. And it's just like, okay, why did I pay for quintessence?
Right.
So there are things to look at because you can make the same arguments like, look, Kobik does the same thing. Like Kobik will take away your quint, just as quickly. And so that's why I feel like Chase Thanos is on the edge. Kobik is the more accessible Chase Thanos. And anybody that was sleeping on her before has been woken wide awake.
Yeah. Yep.
Woken wide awake.
Yep.
And even to the point, I'll say this. I thought there was no point for Red Cube for Kobik because Blue Cube is just that dumb until I came to realize that if I wanted to, I could flip your team abilities with Kobik, take away your power cosmic, run Red Cube, and say, I triple dog dare you to say that I can't have damage powers. Because if you do not give me damage powers, I'm going to pick Outwit every turn.
Right.
And I'm going to take away your power cosmic, and I'm going to outwit you, then I'm going to perplex, and then I'm going to prop. And I can do all that with a call in, and then I'm going to ruin your day.
Yep.
So Kobik, the Chase Thanos for everybody else that can't get Chase Thanos.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a really strong figure. I was telling everybody that if Chase Thanos wins, I felt like he was going to be a $500 figure if he won, if somebody figured it out. But I agree with you. I don't think that they should have something that's that strong at that rarity level, because nobody wants to pay that amount, because then you're talking about $1,000 teams, I think, because, $500 for him, $400 for your sideline. And I think that really dissuade a lot of people. Whereas Kobik, I think she went up a little bit, but at the time it was like $55 for one with her cube and stuff like that. I think that was a little more price friendly. I don't know. I'm just in general agreement with you. I like the stuff with her cube and Trader where you got to double token people. That was fun to watch. Although it effectively killed one man army. I don't see too many. I don't know. Do you think people are going to run too much one man army after that, or people are just going to say, I'm probably not going to see one anyway?
Yes, and the main reason is it's still viable. Kobik is not 50% of the field saturation, and again, bigging up my 2 clicks from KO article, the true winner of the meta is aggro.
Yeah,
like control teams were cool and OMAs were cool and they did break, and Don't Die was cool and it didn't break, but what really was dominating was excessive aggro.
Yep.
And once you understand that, then the question comes in is, are we still in that I'm going to put my eggs in this bank basket when we're in a society full of bank robbers?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea anymore.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of, I mean, the winning team was a good example of what you needed. It was like Hawkeye and Vulture. It's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do with that? You better hope you make it, because chances are not high.
Yeah.
So we covered that. Did you see any? What do you think was the most interesting team you saw all day, if you had to pick one?
Ooh.
Like, it didn't even have to be good, just something you were like, that's a neat idea.
Truthfully,
yeah,
I guess if I said like it was a neat idea, it would be the guy I played first round. He had an interesting like Kobik build with a bunch of other stuff like mixed in there, like Kobik, Unseen, Groot, Flores, Skyscraper, Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Like there was a multitude of things like mixed in there where I was like, well, okay, let's see how this go.
Yeah.
And I barely won. It was a low scoring game.
Yeah.
But it mainly just came down to don't get greedy, don't get caught out by Kobik, don't go for Mancock. Just call in IDs and like moonwalk away as best as you can.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Did you feel like there was a lot of low scoring games this go around?
Yes.
Because it seemed like people had a lot of rollouts.
Yes. Okay. So this is the problem that I saw with this tournament is there were a handful of people that were just going like balls to the wall type situations, and they scored a lot of points because their team was, again, hyper aggro.
Right.
And everybody else was playing like in fighting game terms, it's called footsies.
Yep. Yeah, that's yep.
Everybody's like back and forth, and it's like, oh, hold it, wait, oh, you're right there now. Call in the ID, put in all my buffs. Let's go. One shot you. Oh, come on, please, one shot you.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
There's 3 probs on it. So yeah, I think that's the issue. But I think one of those main points that comes in is that pre-ID game design, you had to invest in an offensive piece. And if that offensive piece failed, your game failed. So you had to invest in something that would bring your offensive piece back. And so now we have teams that are completely designed that have no offensive piece, all buffing and defensive, and they're all based around calling in your offense.
Yep.
And then that offense has to convert points. So when you look at that reality change, I pretty much just say in business terms, I've outsourced my offense, and my business is about defense and buffing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a game state like that, you have to ask yourself, what are you picking off? You're picking off Colossal Retail.
Mm-hmm.
You're picking off little support guys. You're probably blowing up an equipment or two, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is about shuffling around and playing footsies all day.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was always telling people like getting ready. I was like, don't really plan on wiping anybody. Plan on, maybe a 60-30 win if you're having an active game.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're at that level. I mean, you might wipe in the early rounds. You might wipe somebody that's maybe not as good as they could be. But once you get higher, what did I hear? I heard somebody like 25-30 or something like super low game. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just the way it is, because you figure everybody's unseen had shape change, and they were all pretty much running Wakanda and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh well, I guess F me. I'm not gonna hit this guy then.
But you're talking about that, but like let's look at this realistically.
Yeah.
How many defensive options have been given to us in forms of equipment?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Enough.
Yep.
Like, we still had canister symbiote still legal.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the other Venom symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
That's legal. Plus we have the Remaker ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's legal. So that's 3 rollouts right there.
Mm-hmm.
You have Red Cube, which could give you any number of defensive powers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another gem that's giving you +1 defense. So, like, in terms of handing out defensive options, WizKids has given us a lot of defensive options in terms of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, we have to consider that. So yeah, like I said, everybody's been outsourcing their offense.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I know that I'm definitely guilty of that. But, I mean, it's just so good. It's like, okay, well, I'll pay 3 points to have somebody invest in defense, and it'll be all right. So the event, how do you think the events ran, like, overall for the course of the week/weekend?
I think the overall statement by Kenny Pena, which is we're going to have rounds based on attendance, is the most wonderful thing that WizKids has said.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best thing that WizKids from an organizational perspective has done. Everybody has said, look, y'all not doing anything on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just have everything spill over to Sunday?
Yep.
And it came out to be the best decision.
Yes.
If you are interested in watching the finals, you can watch the finals in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not a crowd. It's not the background noise. I was actually surprised that I had my phone there as a secondary audio source that I had to use in the past. I had to do it at PAX.
Yep.
Didn't have to do that.
Right.
Because there weren't a ton of people around. There was enough people watching, but there wasn't.
Yeah, it made for a very nice situation, I thought, rolling over. They did top 8, I think, right? Top 8 was Sunday.
Top 8.
Yeah, it was a very nice event. Having the 5 rounds of Swiss definitely helped some of those 3 and 2 people make it in. I thought it was really nicely run overall. Kenny did a good job. All the judges did a good job. I had to tell some of them to calm down. You don't got to sprint over. Like, you can just walk with purpose. You don't got to sprint. Stuff like that.
Barnstable wasn't there, so
yeah. But I thought overall it was running really well. Everybody seemed responsive whenever you had questions and stuff like that. I think it's definitely a good direction that I hope they continue to move in. And I think having Kenny and a couple other people involved is definitely going to continue moving in that direction.
Yeah.
So you have anything that we didn't talk about yet that you saw at Origins that you really enjoyed? Did you do Battle Royales?
Yes, I thought Battle Royales were nice. I feel sorry for... You could just tell. Like, people weren't really feeling Rebirth.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to fire off on a Black Panther in the Illuminati, it was like, take my money.
Yep.
Like, you were just throwing the money.
Oh, yeah.
I got in on Sunday, and they were like, we're down to our last 3 cases of Black Panther and the Illuminati. And then everybody was like, I'm in line.
Yep.
How much longer do I have to wait? 45 minutes? I'm in line.
Yes. Yep.
It's like, you want to do Rebirth? It was like crickets.
Yep. Yeah. Rebirth got treated treated bad. The fans definitely spoke on that one. But, I mean, like I said, somebody asked me about it. I was like, Black Panther had really only been out a week. You know, you've got your chance at pulling a near $300 Ultra Chase. You know, if you pull it, you're probably going to get triple teamed in your Battle Royale, but it's still there. You know, you've got all the equipment characters and stuff like that. It was a really strong thing to go against. And Rebirth didn't have any equipment. It didn't have any, I mean, outside of like Starfire and like 2 chases, it really doesn't have too much going for it. And I mean, it was like you said, it was bad. It was like you just see Black Panther and the Illuminati going off all day, and they'd do like maybe 2 rebirths all day.
Yeah, if you were playing Rebirth, you were praying for the following: Billy Batson's, because Billy is broken. Shazam, that's the other, because Shazam's $20 still for some dumb reason.
Yeah.
Dawnbreaker and Murder Machine. That's it. That's all you really wanted to see. You didn't want to see anything else in that set. You'll be content with the Mr. Oz.
Yeah.
But if you saw Deathstroke, you would just look at your opponent like, gosh, dog.
Yep.
I'm stuck with white suit Deathstroke.
Yep. Yeah, it just wasn't. It just didn't have it. But I thought the prizing was good. They did. Have they always done three objects? I seem to only remember 2, but they were dropping two of the new rings and then like 1 older thing, like a Proxima Midnight Spear or even Exospecs. Like they were dropping money on the table whenever they were coming around.
The thing that I like about this year that was really important is that we did not get IDs. Which lets me believe that they might be looking at it or backing away from it.
Yeah.
With them handing out equipment, lets us know, like, they're turning the corner, and we're going down the object path. Because you're going to get limited power, but it's going to be good, and it's going to scale to that figure, but, you know, there's risk. Because if you don't get it, somebody else is going to pick it up.
Right, yeah.
Which I feel is completely fine and should be the risk that's there. But ID cards is like, I'm holding on to this. I'm holding on to this nuke until I'm ready to launch it.
Right.
So, I'm just glad that they've done that. But in the past, they usually hand out 3 IDs.
Okay.
And the con exclusive. So it's about the same. It is the same.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was just pretty cool. What'd you think of the con exclusives? I thought, as far as gameplay overall, they were like the winnable ones. I thought they were a little weak. People see Raven was probably the most playable, but I was only at the table 1 time when she was dropped from Wednesday to Sunday.
I think Raven was the one everybody got. I only won Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
I only played Battle Royales in all fairness and truth and transparency, but
yeah,
I didn't have a lot of time to play Battle Royales either, so.
Right, yeah.
There's that too.
Yep. But, all right then, so you got anything else to say before we wrap this up?
Oh, no, thank you for having me on. This is always a good time to be on the show.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's always great to have you on. You always have some interesting ways to look at things. All right, guys, so make sure in the comments below, let us know if you were at Origins, whether or not you had a good time, what you liked about it, what you didn't. And if you weren't there, let us know what more about Origins you might want to hear about, and I'll try to have it on a different show. Thank you, Edward, a.k.a. Dark Logos, for joining me. And that's all we have for you today. As always, please remember that it's only a critical miss if you don't have probability control.